Hello, my name is Zach Bradford. Today I will be talking about budgetary slack, the ethics behind it, and the triggers that cause budgetary slack to occur in the business environment. Budgetary slack is the gap between planned performance and the actual performance capabilities of the company. The problem this creates is allocating of resources inside a company. When resources cannot be allocated effectively, then a company often fails to meet its full potential and will fall short. An important thing to note about budgetary slack is it is an ethical issue created by individuals who are seeking to follow self-serving desires. Agency theory is also a very important part to take note in for budgetary slack. But agency theory states that individuals will behave in an economically rational way. Individuals behaving in an economically rational way are motivated to maximize their personal consumption with the smallest amount of effort. So actions are taken without regards to other individuals, values, such as honesty and fairness. That is what agency theory states. Triggers that affect budgetary slack. These are things that when they occur, it is more common to find budgetary slack than if the triggers are not there. Linking incentives to budgetary slack causes an increase. It causes an increase because people want to be able to receive the bonus, whether it's financial, also emotional benefits are also sought out. But when the incentives are linked to the budget, people are more likely to be conservative in their estimates so they can more easily reach it. Which leads into the next one. Risk-averse individuals are more likely to create budgetary slack. These are individuals that are afraid that if they go for a high goal, they won't be able to reach it. And so they are more likely to underestimate conservatively a budget. Social pressures are a trigger that can work in either direction. Social pressures can cause individuals to create budgetary slack if it's considered socially acceptable to put slack in the budget, or it can cause individuals to avoid inserting budgetary slack if the company environment looks down upon that practice. Obedience pressures is another trigger. This is pressure from the superior on the person creating the budget. This is when the superior instructs the accountant what they would like to see in the budget, and often they've found in studies that the individuals fall prey to this pressure about half of the time. But it is important to note that the individuals that do fall prey to this pressure, they often they find an impasse about halfway between what they think it should be with no slack and what the superior thinks it should be as far as slack. The ethics of budgetary slack. When you look at the ethics behind budgetary slack, it becomes very obvious that budgetary slack is an unethical behavior because it has a negative effect on the entire organization. It can be harmful anytime an organization isn't performing to its full capabilities. Jobs are at risk, livelihoods are at risk. Budgetary slack occurs due to the lack of ethics in the actions motivated by self-interest. So I then focused on what can be done. Awareness needs to be, between managers and employees, they need to be aware of triggers that can cause the budgetary slack. Managers, when they're aware of the triggers, can limit the amount of exposure that their employees have to each of these triggers, whether it's limiting the incentives tied to budgets, or whether it's limiting the incentives tied to the budgets. Also, employees can learn to recognize triggers and analyze their behaviors to ensure that they are able to act ethically. That is my presentation. Thank you.